Greetings and welcome back to part 3 of session 35 of the Bastard Smalls, Moonshine and Mercenaries. Whatever that title goes in. We'll decide when it goes up. So, a plan is in action. Always in action. In action? Let's find out.
A plan of inaction is inaction. So, last we left off, Snorri had successfully managed to use a 5th level spell to switch the contents of the water keg with the contents of an ale keg. And considering that water sells for a gold piece a shot, and ale is a silver piece for a tankard, you've got a few people that once they get done mining for the day, they actually do want a drink of water. Because you can assume that their employers are not providing them with a ton of water. So a couple of people come up to the bar. Their hair is very heavily streaked with black along with their clothes. And they ask the bartender for a couple of shots of water. They pay for it. The kobold goes to the keg to pour it out. Doesn't really pay too much attention to it. Sets the shots down in front of them. They drink the first one, nearly spit it out back in the kobold's face and go, "Hey, what are you trying to pull here?" About the same time that some people from the other end of the bar come storming up and going, "We want to get drunk. Why are you giving us water?" So they're about in the middle of the bar. They're about right in the middle of the bar, almost directly across from the door, which is where the kobold has wanted to hang out this whole time. And you can tell that these handful of people here are about to reach over and grab the kobold. At that point in time, the mobile mountain that's been sitting in front of the gate stands up, pulls the blunderbuss out from the poncho and slings it over their shoulder with their finger near the trigger. And just, doesn't sprint, but does do a quick walk over. Because, we're starting to see the peasant uprising here, and security's got to do their job. And she lets out a whistle, kind of puts her first and pinky finger in her mouth, blows on it, and the other mountain comes in, and he too slings a blunderbuss over his shoulder and claps one of the people that are in front of the bar on the shoulder and goes, "Is there a problem here?" And they start arguing back and forth here about how the bar keeps cheating them and not letting them get drunk, or cheating them by charging them way too much money for bad ale. And by the way, the tankard you successfully managed to switch over was the Moonshine.
Yes! I was drinking that.
So were they, but you know how that goes. So you can kind of see the kobold kind of start to press up against the back of the bar to keep the people from being able to reach him. And about half the tables, the people are starting to get angry. Because it's affected more than just the people at the bar. Now we're starting to... This happened long enough and people were drunk enough not to notice right away, but they're starting to notice that they're being served water instead of alcohol, and they are there to get drunk. Well, they are already drunk, and now they're mad about it. So now you've got about 15 people surrounding the two behemoths and threatening to grab the kobold. To which you now see the behemoths are starting, the two behemoth men, the man and the woman, are just starting to literally start to bar brawl here. And you see Snugno, the blue kobold, basically take a nearly empty bottle of cheap vodka and just throw it like a dart, and it just shatters against one of the patrons and drops them cold. So now you have successfully managed to start a bar fight between the security and the patrons.
And this is when Omnius gets blown in.
Yeah,
Hello,
right about this
everybody.
time, Omnius gets blown in because Omnius Bird tried to actually fly because of
Yeah.
boredom, probably because this is a full 24-hour walk from where you got dropped off.
Yeah, he overslept, unfortunately.
Yeah.
E.g.,
So-
I overslept.
Omnius basically face planted inside the saloon doors there.
Omnius, you made it!
He blows in like a tumbleweed.
Which actually
Just
don't
a-
exist out here, but you know how that goes.
Yeah,
Because there is
just-
no vegetation.
he's just a ball of feathers and also shiny things.
He
just
runs
pops up.
over and helps him up.
He's like, money? Where?
Once we finish this job.
He turns and looks towards the two big people. Those guys are pretty big.
You can tell that they are exceedingly busy because it is 15 people beating on them. The 15 people are not doing much damage, but they are taking some time to corral, and plus the fact that they're drunk is making them a lot less susceptible to feeling the punch that either of these two can deliver. But you can
Races of
tell
the
it
various
is-
minors.
You can tell it is only a matter of time before they get this under control. It's not going to take, it'll take them a few minutes to get this under control and get all the rabble-rousers unconscious, dead, out the door, something. But they will get it in a few minutes.
Do you think if I cast darkness that would help?
Interesting.
Can't hit what you can't see.
Well, since the guards are human, they don't see.
Yeah, they don't have dark vision.
But then being magical darkness, I think no one could see.
That's true.
Are you all watching the fight?
So,
I'm just more
I'm gonna look
focused
over
on the
at the.
short
I'm gonna look
door.
over at the door to the back real quick.
Make me a perception check and tell me what you're looking at.
That is a 9. I'm looking towards the door in the back.
Okay. You know that nothing is happening at the door.
Okay.
But if you're watching the fight or the kobold, give me a perception check.
okay.
Omnius is looking at the dwarf that is across the table.
The much more sober dwarf than you're used to.
19.
He doesn't have a lot of experience with Snorri yet, so he just kind of waves.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Okay, Yuki. You notice two things.
Mhm.
One, that the two behemoths are less focused on actually delivering blows, but what they are doing is picking up the members picking up the various people that are, trying to hurt them and using them as human shields to slowly wear down the number. They pick one up and use that person to fend off the blows until they're unconscious, then toss them aside, then pick up another one. But you also notice that the kobold is pressing something under the bar.
Oh no, he's calling the cops. Omnis's only weakness.
She relayed that to the team.
Say, if calling the cops, that's an awfully long response time, considering you haven't seen hide nor hair of law enforcement out this way.
I haven't seen much of anything out this way.
Is at this moment, Snowy. So, basically points at the kobold and bellow, stop, using command for a wisdom save against a spell save of DC 14.
He makes the save.
Got that.
Darn.
And he can tell that magic was used on him, but he's kind of overwhelmed by figuring out what's going on. He can tell that magic was attempted to be used against him. He heard it, and he felt the command try to take hold in his mind, but it didn't actually sink in, and he makes a break for the door.
Do I have anything that can restrain? I don't have anything that can restrain. Could I theoretically cast Minor Illusion to hide the door?
The door is bigger than Minor Illusion could cover.
All right.
And he knows where that door is anyway.
Okay.
I
What
mean,
about
Minor Illusion is a 5x5 cube, basically.
Okay.
The door is a standard size door.
All right. Could I use color spray to blind him?
You would have to get closer, because I think color spray's only got a 15-foot range. And you're also going to hit a whole lot of other people with it.
I don't think Omnius cares very much.
May I make a recommendation?
Yes.
You just trip him up.
Could I use Mage Hand to trip him?
You could use you to trip him.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a simple dex save.
All right, and I'm good at dexterity.
Okay, so you're going to try to hop over the bar to get in his way.
Or he's waiting until the point the barman meets his point and then trips him up there.
Or I could use Dimension Door and bring Omnius there to trip him.
As remember, he's behind the bar.
Yeah.
Is there two doors?
There's a door out the back.
You see there's the door that you came in at the bottom of the picture. But if you look next to what looks like a trap door there, which is actually just a bar gate, there's another door right there that has storage written on it.
All right.
And that's the door he's attempting to get to. Sorry, I wasn't clear enough on that.
Yeah, I thought he was heading towards the main door.
No, he's heading towards the storage door.
If I used my Mage Hand to try and trip him, what kind of roll would I have to make for that?
Let me find the spell real quick.
And note, my Mage Hand is invisible thanks to me being Arcane Trickster.
Yeah, it can't attack, activate magical items, or carry more than 10 pounds. I'm not sure it can trip.
I mean, if it tugs on like maybe some of his clothing or something that throws him off balance.
Hmm.
Oh, you just got
I'm going to rule that the mage hand is substantial. It actually has a physical presence. It's actually solid. So if you get the mage hand right in front of him, he would have to avoid tripping over it.
And he can't see it.
And he can't see it. And he is a kobold.
Mm.
All right. I'm going to do that.
Okay. You will have to move closer to the middle of the room because you're close to 30 feet away from the bar as it is. So you kind of have to sprint more. You have to kind of sprint out to the middle of the room and cast it so you can actually reach the point between him and the door.
Yeah.
But now let's
The
see.
range on Mage Hand is 30 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. He goes more towards the middle of the room and casts Mage Hand.
Okay. Oh, God. Anybody want another failure chain? I think we're getting one.
Let's go.
We didn't have to throw a gnome at him.
It's a gnome among the crowd.
Exactly.
So that's what is his dex modifier, just so I can get the actual. He has a dex of +5 because he's kobold.
Mm.
Yes. I also
That's-
have a dex of +5 because I rolled good.
Well, you wouldn't. It's not an opposed dexterity check.
Mm.
All right.
But let's see. He rolled with the bonus. That's a 7, an 8, a 6, and a 9. With the bonus. So it just because he actually didn't. I mean, he couldn't roll. He couldn't have a 1 through 5. He had a +5. So he's not significantly injured. But what happens is you basically do the mage hand, and I'm going to assume, just because, why not, you turn the mage hand into a giant middle finger and stick it right in his path.
I mean,
It's
Omnius
invisible.
can see it. No one else can.
It's invisible, but it's still a giant middle finger, and the middle finger sticking up manages to clip Snugnose's foot as he sprints for the door, which knocks him to the side. It doesn't knock him. He doesn't trip flat. Doesn't fall face first in the floor, but he does end up tripping off to the side and hits his head against the metal shelves that hold the alcohol. This causes 2 of the bottles to fall down on him and break. It doesn't knock him out, but he is stunned on his hands and knees about 20 feet away from the door right now. And he's shaking his head because, ow.
All right, so we're stopping that guy, right?
I have to kill him. By order of my family. But the main thing we're doing is we're trying to annoy some mercenaries. We're trying to take care of a problem with some mercenaries who I assume are either here or work here.
I see. Omnius had no context for anything. He just saw a kobold and thought it would be funny to trip him.
Yeah, the long and short of this is you've been hired by a noble to deal with some mercenaries that have been raiding various establishments in the area, mostly mining operations, and B, to destroy their base of operations, which is where you are standing now. That's what you were hired to do.
All right.
The thing about the kobold is a separate thing that Cyrano got from Percy, and Omnius would have been included in that meeting if Omnius had been awake.
Yeah. Is Omnius aware that Yuki can cast Dimension Door?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Would Yuki have told him at any point, or
I would've-
demonstrated this in front of him?
I was gonna say, I don't think she's used it since he's arrived.
All right.
I think the last time you used it was to stop stamps.
No, I think the last time I used it was on the Hydra.
Maybe.
And I think I used that to go put the bean in his mouth.
I had an idea, but since Omnius wouldn't know that Yuki has Dimension Door, it wouldn't work.
Mm.
So now you got a kobold that's on his hands and knees, shaking his head, trying to recover from having a couple bottles break over his head off the top shelf. And there is a bar fight that is slowly but surely getting back under control.
What are the main races of the miners?
Human.
Mm.
Damn, that's not nearly as interesting.
I mean, there are a couple of dwarves because mining, but not too many dwarves want to be out in this heat.
Mm.
Sai tries to sneak along the edges of the bar fight. What did you say about there being no female dwarves?
Oh, God.
That's
Okay, let's see here. How many dwarves are actually... Okay, there are 4 dwarves in the bar. They were not involved in the fracas. They had better sense than to get involved in that. They hadn't gotten drunk yet. They hear that. Yes, besides Snorri. There were 4 dwarves besides Snorri. What size armor class?
Size armor class is 19.
Okay. So you have 4 empty bottles crash around your head. They do kind of shower you with broken glass, but none of them actually hit you. So you might have gotten a few minor scrapes and cuts, but nothing that actually hit you directly. But you do see 4 dwarves glowering at you.
I heard they're gonna add a height requirement to this bar.
I have no idea why you're trying to anger the dwarves directly at you, but okay.
I'm trying to make the bar fight worse.
Well, right now you're completely out of the bar fight, and it's about half of the patrons at the bar are engaged.
No, I went closer to the bar fight and was trying to shout kind of like amidst them.
Oh, I thought you were at the edge of the room.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I thought you were at the edge of the room doing that, but no, you're kind of hanging out in the orbit of the actual fight, huh?
Yeah.
Which is more like in the middle of the bar.
Yeah.
There is the Terrible Fort coming down to Snorri's there. And Snowy is in a bad of mood that he's sober already, and now you're putting this shit.
I mean, he is there. You can make a ranged attack with a bottle at him.
I think something a bit more substantial.
Oh no.
So, 3 of the dwarves throw a bottle into the midst of the crowd because they're not sure where the voice came from. But one of the dwarves is glowering directly at Cyrano. And the dwarf stands up, all 3'5" of him, walks over to you, and says, "You want to say that to my face, laddie?"
Can't hear you down there.
Hi.
Oh, that's bad. Okay. That's a crit. Haven't pulled out the die 12 for much lately.
Int of 19. Wisdom 8.
I feel like this is going to be the point where Yuki gets involved.
The dwarf that walked up to you spits in your face, then pulls out a shovel and just brings it right down on the top of your head.
Surprised he can reach that high.
It's a big shovel. It's a decent sized shovel. And he just uses it like a war hammer. And you take 15 points bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
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 Just to add insult to injury, may I add to this?
If you wish.
Snowy is going to roll an attack roll. On cry. Okay, I voted 18. The drawn thrower is a +8.
So 26 to hits an armor class of 19.
It does.
Yep, that's a D10. Bouncing you for 6 bludgeoning damage.
Sai has lost 4 inches of height.
His spine may be compressed at this point.
The hammer flies back to Snowy's hand.
How
Who's
close
that,
am I
Thor?
to the bar / the bottles of alcohol?
Okay, you are standing very close to the bar itself, but the bottles of alcohol are behind the bar, and you would have to actually get behind the bar to reach any of them.
Less than 15 feet away.
If you're standing at the edge of the bar, you are right about 15 feet away from that back wall.
So Saad is going to make a very showy attempt of being like, "Oh my god, I'm hit in the head with a shovel and a hammer. I know where I am." Jazz hands.
Oh,
Burning
no.
hand in the general direction of the alcohol.
God, I have to do it. Are you sure you want to do this?
I say yes. I support chaos.
At this point, can we say that the other members of the party are seeing this and have the common sense to leg it?
Well, not before Yuki dashes over the bar and grabs the kobold by the scruff of his neck.
Or actually, no. The kobold has alcohol on him, right?
Oh yeah.
There would be
covered it.
some alcohol splashed on the kobold, yeah, from the
Set him on
drops.
fire, Sai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Slight change of plans. Setting the kobold on fire. So that's a 15 dex save. to take... Let's see here. Okay. If he passed the save, he takes 4 damage. If he failed the save, he takes 9. But it's fire damage, and he has alcohol.
Okay, he did... Actually, considering he was prone and stunned, he automatically fails the dex save.
Let's go.
I need to adjust that. And you can see his clothing is now caught on fire. At which point, since he's now on fire, you hear a deep growl from within the fracas going, "Okay, that's it." At which point you hear and feel the sound of the blunderbuss firing that one carries.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And the other one also fires the blunderbuss. A lot of people drop, but they're still in the middle of a bar fight because that's a lot of people. And they have too many hands holding on, keeping them down to reload the guns. But they are using them as clubs now.
So the kobold's already on fire.
Yeah.
Kobold is on fire.
Can I make the fire worse?
You can certainly try if you've got a way to make it worse.
I have firebolt.
That doesn't catch things on fire. That just hits for fire.
Okay.
Something like burning hands, if I'm not mistaken, in the actual spell, it says it will light things on fire.
It absolutely does.
Yes. But firebolt, it's like that doesn't have any special adds, lights things on fire.
All right. Hold on, I need to check the description of something. No, I'm not trying to look up hair dye game. Okay.
You also notice that the fight has been taken out of the crowd a little bit once both of the blunderbusses got unloaded. But you notice that the crowd has lost quite a bit of the willingness to fight it out. They're still fighting, but they're having a little trouble keeping up the spirit.
I mean, I do have Shatter, but they're technically carrying those guns, so that doesn't... That wouldn't destroy the guns.
Why not?
A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes damage. So they're being carried, so... Unless you will it so.
No, if it does say they are they are swinging them like clubs, so...
Trying to think of things that I could do. Think I could mirror image the crowd to make it seem like there are more than there are.
It would make duplicates of your spell.
Yeah, that makes illusion. That's
right,
duplicates of you.
I'm a little tired still.
That's fair.
So what I'll say right now, I will offer you the chance for an idea roll.
idea. Okay. What do I roll for that?
You just roll a die 20.
18.
You realize that now would be an excellent time to try to get in that door.
Mm.
Time to door. All right. I guess I'm going for the door.
Yuki will go up behind him because she has to remind him, like, there's a certain way you gotta open the door.
I know how to open a door. Why do you think I know how to open a door?
Oh, there's
But
a
the
trick
thing
to this
is,
one.
yeah, there was a roll scene earlier that she noticed that someone who went in the door had to do a certain thing.
Omnius was not aware of this.
Mm-hmm. She realized to what it is, and it's like, I'll lay it out here and cover your rear.
He just nods and like goes into wherever this door is leading.
Make me a perception check
Perception.
once you reach the door.
All right. Oh, good. I have a +5 to my perception. Let's go. That's a dirty 20.
You see a small lever positioned next to the handle of the door. And with the dirty 20, you do notice that that lever can be moved upward.
Every part of me is screaming to do it. Omnius takes a brief second to consider, maybe this wouldn't be a good idea, before his lizard brain goes, no, do it now, do it now. And he just reaches and flips it up.
So the lever is tiny. The lever is maybe about an inch high and positioned right next to the doorknob. And when you flip it up, it's kind of on a spring. So when you let it go, it just kind of falls back into place.
Does it do anything?
You don't know.
All right, guess I'm holding it in place until something happens.
You're not noticing it do anything at the moment.
All right, what else can I say around here?
But I assume would Yuki be able to tell him what she saw?
Yeah, she can relay what she saw.
Okay. Basically, she watched a woman walk back into that door after walking out of it. And she could relay that the woman both turned the handle and lifted the lever at the same time.
Oh, so that's how you open the door. Okay. I guess door is open.
And what you see, I assume you took a quick second to examine the door.
Yes.
After you opened it. What you see is there's a large pole positioned in just the right place to swing through the door if the handle is turned without that lever being lifted.
I see. Oh, that would have hurt.
Yep.
Obviously, just kind of steps around the pole and goes in.
So you can, if you look at the picture, you can kind of see that you're in a fairly smaller room, much smaller than the bar, lined with barrels upon barrels of different things. At the far end, you see a trap door with a chair positioned over it.
I guess I'm going to the trap door.
Okay, they're too preoccupied to notice. And he's not in any position to notice. Okay. So you just look over at the trapdoor?
Yep. Walk over to it.
Okay, who else is where?
Yuki's right outside the door.
I'm causing trouble in the bar fight, partly because I have to get ready for work really soon.
Yep.
And Snarly's still by the table.
You look at the trap door in the floor, and it just kind of looks like a typical trap door that would lead down to a basement.
Let's open it. Why not?
Do you just fling it open, or do you just kind of open it a couple of inches, look down, or...
I open it a couple of inches and look down. Omnius may be not the smartest bird around, but he has enough sense to check for traps.
You see the back of a woman's head at the bottom of a set of stairs, basically. At the angle you lift it up, you can see a set of stairs that goes down, and what you can see, you see the back of a woman's head.
Yuki, there's a lady down here.
Yuki follows down. Yep, that's a lady, all right.
Give me another perception check.
Okay.
All right.
While I pull up her stats.
21.
You notice that not only does she have a great sword strapped to her back, she is packing a revolver.
Fun.
Yuki, I don't think we should fight this lady.
Wait. I got a better idea. And she casts sleep on the woman.
Okay, let's see. How many dice do sleep? I can tell you that if you rolled perfectly on the roll, you could not put her to sleep with it.
Oh, okay.
She has more hit points than that.
Okay. Alrighty then.
What's around her?
It looks like an empty room, but you can just make out a reinforced door.
I could light a stick of dynamite and throw it down there.
Well, it caused enough damage.
Let me do this. When you look down there, that's what you see. With the woman standing at the foot of the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And the reinforced door is sitting there closed.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. What about hypnotic pattern?
So hypnotic pattern, I mean, you can tell this is the same woman that served you alcohol earlier.
Right.
So hypnotic pattern would affect her.
Okay.
And remember, you have the instrument of the bards there, which means you can impose disadvantage. on the check.
Okay.
Do you remember what your save is?
My DC save?
Yeah, your spell save.
Yep, 14.
14. And that is wisdom. Okay. So I'm going to assume you told Ominous to look away.
Yes.
You cast your spell, the colors weave and bob, and she doesn't fall over, but she does start rocking back and forth, and her revolver just kind of falls out of her grip.
Alrighty.
Can I mage hand it to me?
It is definitely light enough to be picked up by a mage hand.
All right. I'm going to mage hand the revolver while this lady is distracted to me, so she no longer has it.
I am also going to say that firearms do require a special proficiency to fire, or else you're going to risk the thing blowing up in your face.
He has no intent. I have no intention of having him fire it. He just wants to
Okay.
get it away from the scary lady.
Mm.
Okay. So she's just kind of there, staring off into nothing.
Omni is holding a gun.
Let's see what's down there. I got her right here.
All right. Omni's just kind of slowly creeps down the stairs. Would you say this is dim lighting?
Yeah, it's dim lighting.
All right. That will trigger Skulker. So I have advantage on any stealth rolls just in case.
So you walk down there and you're in a room that I pasted into the chat.
Yes.
That's as big as it is, only you see a large wheel next to that reinforced door.
Can I examine the door to see if it's magical?
You can examine the door.
Then I am going to use my learned trait, because doors count as objects.
Yes, doors do count as objects.
So I can determine any magical properties it has, how it can be used or activated, and how much it's worth.
It is essentially a big, thick slab of metal. It doesn't have any magical properties whatsoever to it, but you can tell that by turning the wheel, you can slowly open the door.
Looks like I'm turning a wheel.
So you will be off to the side of the door as you do this, because that's where the wheel is.
Mm-hmm.
So you start turning this wheel, and suddenly from the other room, Sandra, that you?
If I cast Disguise Self, can I imitate a voice?
No.
Damn.
Disguise Self only makes you look different. It does not affect your voice.
Actually, since Yuki has the actor feat, I think she can mimic the voice for like a minute.
It's if you heard her speak for a minute.
I mean, she was the one that served
Yeah.
ale, so I would have heard her voice.
And I would say you probably heard her voice for long enough to be able to mimic it.
Okay. So she's gonna gag and tie up the lady so she's not so she's not a problem, and then do the disguise self and mimic it and be like, yep, that's me.
What's going on out there?
Bit of a brawl. I think they got it under control.
Well, tell the damn kobold to turn off the freaking signal.
Will do.
Meanwhile, you're still slowly opening the door, I take it, because it's going to take you about a full minute to open that door.
Yeah.
Because it's heavy.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to check something. All right. Okay. All right. Never mind. He's just continuing to open it.
So do you look inside while you're opening it, or do you just keep opening it?
I guess I'll look inside. Actually, but before I do that, I'm going to cast Silent Image by the top of the trap door to make it look like no one's down here.
Trying to think if that would work. Let's see.
You create an image of an object, creature, or some visible phenomenon that's not larger than a 15-foot cube. Image appears on at a spot within range and lasts for the duration, which is 10 minutes. Image is purely visual. It isn't accompanied by sound, smell, or other sensory effects.
Okay, I'm going to say you can do that. I'm going to
Sweet.
say that is possible because you can probably make it just look like an empty staircase and not be translucent or anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you can. You probably can do that.
Nice. So now, even if they look down here, nothing's out of the ordinary. This lady is still standing there.
Well, she's kind of bound and gagged at the moment.
Yes, but I'm making it appear like she's still
okay.
there. So even if they take a quick glance down, everything looks completely normal. And also, yes, he does look into the room as subtly as possible.
So let me... Once you finally do look in there, let me get a picture of what you're actually seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. There is a guy seated behind the desk at the far end of the room with a fairly long bore rifle just kind of perched next to him. And give me a perception check, because that's the easy stuff.
All right. Time to perception. $24.
Okay, you notice a few things. You notice that the barrels are actually very tightly packed and carefully stacked behind him. And what appears like a very, very heavy curtain that can be pulled in front of them.
All right.
You notice that. You also notice that the floor has what look like just spikes everywhere. The floor looks like it's littered with bags and bags of caltrops and ball bearings.
Okay.
The little brown blocks at the side look like bookcases, but they are not filled with books. They are just filled with heavy objects.
All right. I don't know how important this guy is. I can assume that he's somewhat important since he's behind a giant reinforced door.
You might not know since you weren't there at the meeting, but if Yuki sees him, she will recognize him as the person that was specifically called out by the noble.
That's the guy.
That means nothing to me. You gotta be more specific.
Farrell. We dealt with him in the past.
Not Farrell, Calarag.
Oh,
That's
Calarag. Okay.
That's the guy that Gillian has a specific problem with.
The guy we were hired to. That's the guy we gotta take out, or at least annoy enough to get rid of.
All right. So do I kill him or do I leave him alive?
You know, he didn't really specify if he wanted him dead or alive, did he?
Oh, that's a 20. Hang on. He hears you two talking and looks up.
Well, one of us sounds like Sandra and the other one is just a bird.
But he still hears two people talking when there should only be one.
Oops.
He looks up and you only used your actor feat. You didn't use disguise self, did you?
I did both.
Oh, you did both? Okay.
Is there any chance I can split second disguise myself into the kobold?
Oh, he's already looking at you.
Damn.
Sandra, who the hell is that?
She quickly, grabs Omnius, holding him behind her back, but not actually holding him, and being like, caught this thief here trying to sneak in.
I'll shoot him. Get him out of the way.
Omnius just subtly passes Yuki the revolver.
Okay. She then uses pyrotechnics to create a smoke to make it look like she shot off the blunderbuss and obscure everything.
It's a revolver. It's just
a revolver.
It's a 6-shot revolver.
Dang it. Okay, never mind.
No, I think the smoke shot would work with revolver, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Make the illusion that it was shot.
You're going to need sound, too.
True.
Does pyrotechnics not make sound?
Don't think so. I think it's just
sound loud enough to be a gunshot?
Unless unless I do fireworks, but then
Do you not have prestidigitation?
I do.
That creates sounds.
Okay.
All right, that'll work.
All right. So a combination of prestidigitation and pyrotechnics make it look like she shot Omnius.
Omnius is now quote unquote dead on the floor.
Yes.
Now get up there and see what you can do about the noise. I'm trying to work down here, damn it.
Actually, the boss was asking that you get up there.
What do you mean the boss was... I am the boss!
That crazy kobold, I don't know, he's acting weird. He says he needs your help dealing with some stuff.
Not my problem. You deal with him.
He insisted on you.
Oh, he gets to deal with it in his own time. I'm busy down here.
Busy with what? You're just standing by the door.
He's sitting
He's
behind
sitting
the
behind
desk
the
doing
desk.
paperwork.
Oh. Yeah, what? Playing your crossword puzzles again?
Very funny. I got to fill out a report.
Work for what?
You know people still hire us to do jobs for them. They want to know what we did.
Fair.
Is this some kind of sick power play from you?
It is at this point, as Omnius is noting that this conversation is probably going to go bad soon,
Hmm.
he casts darkness in the room and throws in a stick of dynamite.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Not anymore. Because, like, it's very clear that we want this guy dead. At least to Omnius. He's like, okay, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna kill him. I think I could cast color spray from this distance.
15 feet?
Yeah.
Let's see, each square is 5 foot.
So, no.
So you're about 60 feet away from him.
Big room. Alright. Let me see. What's the range on that?
He is starting to get a little suspicious of why his second in command is starting to kind of defy him.
Hmm.
Question.
Hmm?
What would happen if I say cast firebolt on those barrels behind him?
I want to say it outright, but then again, I don't want to.
If they can catch on fire, it'll catch on fire. A flammable object hit by the spell ignites if it's not being worn or carried.
Give me a perception check on the barrels themselves.
All right. 18.
You can just barely make out the word powder printed on every barrel.
Joy. And this is a reinforced room. So as long as... All right. Time to blow up him and everything in it.
But you want to know what the reinforced room doesn't take into account right now?
Mm.
The open door.
It's not fully open.
It's open enough.
If we hide behind the doors, it won't do too much.
You're getting splashed.
I've got enough HP for this.
No, you don't.
I got another idea. What if I use Charm Person on him?
You have to get closer to him. It's a range of 30 feet.
Okay. So she'll just walk up to the desk and seeing like, seriously, sir, you really should go check that out, and Charm Person.
And that is a charm. Where's the wisdom? Okay. So you can see him visibly relax.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, yeah, whatever. Why can't you deal with it?
Well, you know that I'm only the second in command. Clearly, we need, your expertise on this situation.
Yeah, but you're talking about the little rat bastard up there. All we needed him for was that money he paid us. They got us started on this.
Yeah, well, I hate to tell you this, I think he is planning a coup.
A coup? Him? Really?
I don't trust him.
He just kind of sighs and throws up his hand, rolls his eyes. Whatever. He grabs the rifle. He just kind of snatches it up, presses a button to move all of the caltrops and all that out of the way. Interesting little formation he has set up for where the little tiles on the floor actually lift up and roll to the sides. And then he just kind of storms up. He goes, Snugno, you better have a really good goddamn reason for... And you see him cut off, and he goes, what in the holy hell is going on up here?